Welcome back to Good Morning Miramar. I'm your host, Tamara G. And again, don't forget, you can see us everywhere on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are City of Miramar, and you can check us out. And you can also check out in the City of Miramar artist Zeek Mathias. He is the beautiful, look at that artwork behind him. So you know the artwork at the Miramar Cultural Center is going to be beautiful. It's called Valence 2. That is the exhibit that's going on right now. And welcome to the show, Zeek.
Well, thank you, Tamara. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon to everyone.
And we are so happy to have you here and have you in the City of Miramar showing your work. It's going to be actually on display until August 7th at the Anson Family Art Gallery. And tell us about Valence 2, because just looking at it, I'm looking at the pictures online now. Absolutely breathtaking, Zeek. Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Tamara. I really appreciate that. Countervalence 2, the subtitle is the Gods Are Watching in Silence. It's about the different journeys that we take on in our lives, and sometimes we tend to put labels on things that are not appropriate, and sometimes it's just from constant hearing certain things. So I wanted to show an exhibition where you could whatever it is that you're thinking, but let me present these images to you, just opposing against what you've been believing in terms of what you've been hearing. So one part of the exhibit, as you walk in, you have the beautiful images, and the other side you have critical analysis through some of the images that you have. It's built on layers and layers and layers. So you have to really stand back, look at it, and see what the message that is being conveyed.
Right. And it tells, an inspiring story of Haitian life. But I mean, when you see this, and I've always been told this, I have never visited Haiti, but I've always been told it is a beautiful country. Regardless of what you hear that may be going on. And so this is what some of your photos are showing. But then you, like you said, you don't, shy away from other things that are going on in the country as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're not oblivious to the conditions and the international influences that's going on right now. But, for instance, you always hear the phrase, Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Not under social economic context or anything like that. We could be talking about artwork and somebody introduced that phrase. Where's that phrase coming from? And if it is that, then how come we never hear what's the second poorest country? We never hear what's the third. Who's the last? You see, not to say that these other countries are deserving of these labels, but at the same time, there's a different story that needs to be told. Don't look at things from the surface. Look a little bit deeper in, and you'll find that a lot of times, what you're hearing or what you're seeing is a little bit, different. And that's what I hope to inspire when individuals look at the images.
Right. And I was going to say, but isn't that also what, artists do on a daily basis? Because you guys seem to always dig a little deeper than what, the layperson like me or anyone else can see. Like it's something about an artist's mind that you guys literally can see things that other people can't.
Well, thank you for that. Like for me, every exhibition, every series that I work on, the first question I ask myself, the fundamental question is, does my soul have enough illumination to cast a reflection? And if it does, I hope by the images that the individuals are watching or the group is watching, that it could shed some light. And if it does, then you could go out and spread and pass on the news and pass on the stories and tell the different stories of the journeys. And that's what I hope to do every exhibition. It all starts with that question.
Right. And so what made you decide to go in this direction for Countervalence 2 versus any other direction that you could have gone in? Like what was it, something that inspired you, or literally this was what you thought about when you put it together?
Well, when Ms. Camacho contacted the culture division at Miramar, this is the idea that she has in mind. And so as an artist, I got to pretty much put something together where it makes sense. These are the series that I work on all the time. Valence 1 was pretty much similar. Like right now, there's another exhibition happening at the Hilton, Miami Airport Hilton, that talks about reality. The whole lobby right now, it's been up since February, and I think it's up to the end of this month. So the one at Miramar pretty much tell the same story, but using a different platform, because I wanted to introduce the other aspect of Haiti, but from a critical analysis standpoint. There's a piece there called Freedom. If we look at it, well, I don't want to. I want them to go out and look at it. So I'm not going to explain and go too much detail. But it's an interesting exhibition because every picture interconnect in some way or some shape or form with all those different stories, but they are all interconnect.
Okay. And well, look, that's good because I've been to some exhibits where I didn't know what was going on on the wall. So at least these interconnect, or they, have something kind of a symmetry or something that kind of, connects them. I have looked at some exhibits like, what does that have to do with it? In the very next picture, what does that have to do with anything?
The team I work with loves me because sometimes I could be, well, as an artist, you gotta be careful not to criticize other artists' work, and I don't do that. But I've been to some exhibitions. I'm like, okay. But I think what happened is sometimes, in occupying these spaces, you have to understand what the culture is, right? You have to understand that a person who's walking to that exhibition, me as a kid, would I would have loved some ribbon hanging from the ceiling? Maybe not, but now perhaps. But you got to understand the culture of you. Not that they love art. There are art collectors that come to these exhibitions, but sometimes you have to be able to connect and identify. And that's why, I love the City of Miramar for what they're doing, giving that in conclusion and being intentional with it.
And the really cool thing too, also, is that the exhibits in the Anson Family Art Gallery are free. So you can just
Yes.
walk up. I mean, you don't have to pay to see beautiful art. You can actually just walk up and see it.
Yes, exactly. And what's great about it too, it's a variety. It's not one direction. And then they don't shy away from some little exhibit that's happening now. A lot of cities sometimes don't want to do the inclusion, but I've been fortunate, and I want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to tell a story, because that story we all are we are in that journey. Believe it or not, we are in that journey.
Every day. Countervalence 2, The Gods Are Watching in Silence. It is going to be at the Anson Family Art Gallery until August the 7th. So you might want to check it out. We have multimedia artist Zeek Mathias here with us to talk about his exhibit. And I mean, the photos are stunning. It almost looks like you painted some of these photos, because it would be something that you would see somebody Photoshop. But obviously these are pictures that you took with a camera, I would assume. But I mean, they're amazing. It is so rich in color, and just the vibe of the pictures they're just beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the intention. It's done intentionally. Again, one of the things that I always talk about, and we were just talking about it just now, is you have to be able to create, right? I mean, there's something I call EICIA. First, you have to evaluate the situation. Then you identify what the problem is. And then from that point on, you create. And from create, you inspire. And from the inspiration comes access. Sometimes you have to be asked to join the table. Sometimes you have to create your table. So if you want a community outside of yours to understand who you are, you have to present images that tells the whole story, not part of the story.
All right. And if you want to see this story, make your way over to the Anson Family Art Gallery. It's open Monday through Thursday, 9:30 to 4:30. And then on the weekends, you do have to contact the gallery concierge desk, because sometimes they have events going on, and so private events. So, but definitely Monday through Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Countervalence 2 at the Miramar Cultural Center until August the 7th. Thank you so much, Zeek Mathias, for coming on and talking to us about your exhibit. And we will definitely have you on for number 3 when you come back.
Oh, I appreciate that, Tamara. Let's speak into existence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us as well. Until next time, I'm Tamara G. See ya.